Let's talk about something that's become a huge phenomenon in global trade, but not always for the right reasons. It's called Daigou, a Chinese term that means buying on behalf of. Now at first glance, it seems simple enough. People or small networks buy things like luxury handbags, baby formula or electronics in one country and then send them to customers in another one, which is usually China. Now these customers might not have access to these products because of higher prices, limited availability or strict regulations back home. Now what started as a handy service for consumers has grown into something far more complicated and in some cases even illegal. Now behind the scenes, Daigou has turned into a massive underground economy, opening doors for money laundering, tax evasion and even bypassing international sanctions. So how does all of this work, right? Let's break it down with real examples. Hi, my name is Rico Richardson and I have close to 2 decades of experience in the financial industry. I bring you crypto related content, so subscribe if that's what you're here for. In today's video, we're going to look at Daigou. I'll tell you exactly what it is, how it works, now let's get into it. The whole idea behind Daigou started from a genuine need. Chinese shoppers were drawn to high quality goods from countries like Australia, the US and Japan. Now scandals involving counterfeit products in China, like the infamous 2008 melamine milk crisis, made foreign brands seem safer and more trustworthy. Now for instance, an Australian baby formula became so popular that Daigou agents would clean out store shelves to ship it back to China. In the beginning it was all pretty open. Agents would shop, send the goods and change the markup. But as demand grew, so did the ways people bend the rules to maximize profits and skirt the law. Here's a real example from a 2017 UN report. North Korea, despite being under heavy international sanctions, somehow managed to get its hands on luxury goods, things like high-end watches, electronics and jewelry. Now how? They used Daigou networks. First, they identified what they wanted to buy. Since they couldn't purchase directly because of sanctions, they hired Daigou agents based in countries with less strict trade controls. Now these agents paid cash for the items, leaving no financial trail. Then they repackaged the goods, slapped on fake invoices and mislabeled the contents, calling them household items or electronic parts to avoid scrutiny. And the goods didn't go straight to North Korea. Instead, they were shipped through several countries, creating a web of logistics to hide the trail. By the time the luxury items arrived in North Korea, it was nearly impossible to trace their origins. This elaborate system shows how Daigou networks can help countries sidestep global trade restrictions. Now let's jump to 2018, when Chinese customs cracked down on Daigou merchants at the airports. Now these people were flying back to China with suitcases full of luxury items like designer bags and perfumes. Why? They were exploiting price differences and tax-free shopping abroad to make a profit. Now here's how it worked. Merchants bought goods overseas, then returned to China claiming the items were for personal use. By doing this, they avoided paying import duties and taxes, which are usually required for commercial goods. Now once they got through customs, they sold the items to Chinese buyers, often for less than retail prices in China, but still at a significant profit. Now the trick is that these merchants operated informally, without registering as businesses or paying income taxes. And this setup made them a lot of money while undercutting legitimate retailers. But when authorities started noticing the lost tax revenue and unfair competition, they took action. Now some merchants were arrested and their goods were confiscated. And here's an even more complex example involving Daigou and Hawala, an informal money transfer system based on trust. In 2019, the UK's National Crime Agency uncovered how these two systems were working together to launder money. Here's the setup. Criminals in the UK made piles of cash through illegal activities, like drug trafficking. Now they needed a way to clean this money, so they partnered with Daigou agents who needed cash to buy luxury goods for their clients in China. The criminals handed over their dirty cash to the agents, who used it to purchase high-value items like watches and handbags. And these items were shipped to China, where the agents sold them to local buyers. But instead of wiring the profits back to the UK through banks, they used Hawala. Now in the system, someone in China handed over the money to a local Hawala operator. And that operator then settled the debt with their UK counterpart, often through another series of undocumented transactions. No banks were involved and no paper trail was left behind. It's a seamless way to move money under the radar. Before we go to the rest of this video, I need you to keep in mind that I'm not a registered financial advisor. My videos are meant to be educational and entertaining only. Always do your own research and only invest money you're willing to lose, because even though you can gain a lot in crypto, you will most likely lose it all. Now, if you do gain a lot, it's very important to stay safe, and I've put links in the description to VPNs and hardware wallets to keep your crypto and activities secure. Be sure to check those out. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Telegram, because I share my alpha there much quicker than I do on this channel, because these videos actually take a very long time to produce. Now, technology has made Daigou operations even more sophisticated. Platforms like WeChat, Alipay and Instagram let agents advertise, accept payments and coordinate shipments without leaving much of a trace. Some even used cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which makes tracking transactions nearly impossible. Now, beyond payments, Daigou agents use tech to stay ahead of authorities. They consolidate shipments, mislabel packages and use encrypted messaging to stay off the radar. Now, these tactics make it hard for governments to keep up. However, countries are cracking down on Daigou, but it's a constant game of whack-a-mole. Custom agencies now use data analytics to spot unusual shipping patterns, and retailers are limiting how much of a product one person can buy. But Daigou networks are quick to adapt, using proxies or shifting operations to countries with weaker regulations. Daigou isn't just about shopping, it's a small piece of a much larger puzzle showing how globalization can be exploited. While it started as a service to meet real consumer needs, it's now a way to dodge taxes, launder money and bypass sanctions. Tackling it will take international cooperation and better tools to track financial flows. Until then, Daigou will continue to thrive in the shadows. That's it for now. Subscribe for more and I'll see you guys next time. Doei!